Philippine nationals residing in the BVI are appealing for support on behalf of their families and friends in their homeland who are struggling for survival following the passage of Typhoon Haiyan. The UN estimates over 11 million people are affected after Typhoon Haiyan struck the multi-island nation on November 8th. Spanning some 370 miles wide, the huge storm, if it were to pass in the Caribbean, would stretch from the BVI southwards to Dominica and Guadeloupe. The super typhoon killed over 10,000 people in the city of Tacloban, where 90% of all buildings were ravaged by a combination of wind and storm surge. President of the Philippine Association in the BVI and nurse at the Bougainvillea Clinic, Enda Ruffel-Smith, says two of her relatives perished during the passage of the storm, and her parents' home became a shelter for over 200 people. She says a number of students were among the victims in Tacloban because several schools are located in that city.
Tacloban being the capital is like the infrastructure there is fairly modern, and lots of schools, and that's one of the reasons that there was also a lot of casualty because of a lot of students who will be on boarding houses in there. So they will be coming from other islands, neighboring islands, who would go to Tacloban to go to universities there, and from other towns. Like they would go stay there for a week. They would go in a boarding house, and they're there for a week, and then go back to their town on weekends. My father is okay. My three sisters are okay. My brother, my nephews and nieces are okay. But two of my cousins drowned, and first cousins. And we had a lot of unaccounted family, cousins, relatives in Tacloban. But by the end of the day, they said that they were accounted for, and that was just the bad news, the sad news that two passed away. Two of them drowned. And during, my sister was telling me that aid wasn't getting there. And it was on the 6th day already.
We know we saw reports of shortage, of course, water shortage, food shortages, and even somewhere to stay that people are pretty much exposed, having to resort to sleeping in the open air.
Mm-hmm. And luckily for us, we have a big house. And my sister said that during the storm, before the water came, before the flooding, most people stayed on their houses. Those that have like a bigger structure house, they stayed on their houses. But those that have like on shacks or something, they came to our place, to our house. But when the water started rushing, even those who were on a higher, like 2-story houses, they came to our house as well. And my sister was telling me that there were about almost 200 people inside our house, and they could barely move.
According to CNN, some 10 typhoons make landfall in the Philippines each year, and the impact varies. Typhoons and hurricanes are both tropical cyclones. Last year, Typhoon Bopha killed more than 1,900 people in the Philippines, but the trail of destruction left by Typhoon Haiyan is incomparable to previous storms. Experts say Typhoon Haiyan is the most powerful tropical storm ever to make landfall anywhere in the world in recorded history. The Philippine Association and the BVI say they will be holding a number of fundraising drives to drum up support for their fellow nationals.
Because the storm was really really wide, a lot of them were also affected. As President Enda said, basically the houses there are small, it's more like countryside living, and it's not not like here, we're in the islands, but most houses are concrete. But over there, most would be kind of wooden, more natural material structure, so very strong, frail in that kind of situation. So we're getting some information from friends and relatives who are forwarding them and posting them on Facebook, and apparently there are a lot of other places, especially the remote ones, that have really been like really kind of really swept away.
Persons can contact Enda Ruffle-Smith on 496-7228 or Dr. Harry on 540-1538.